Welcome back to Decked Out.
Spooky season is officially here, and to celebrate, we have a Beetlejuice themed episode. Today, we are joined by MaldHound and ZMainCharacter for a Duskmourn episode. We took some commanders that have been previewed, proxied them up, and put them in the command zone.
And as always, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard, and today's episode sponsor, Anthros, but more on them later in the video.
That's enough for us for now. Let's go ahead and meet the players.
Hello everyone, my name is MaldHound. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram touching cards, touching hearts, but most importantly, telling you whether or not I'd touch your commander's parts. Today, I will be playing the world's first fair Simic commander, ZMainCharacter, all questioning. I will be doing the normal Simic stuff, making tokens, smashing in heads, but I will for once have to plan my turns out and make sure I have the right number of lands to actually get the triggers off.
Hi everybody, I'm ZMainCharacter, and come on, we all know why I'm here. It's spooky season, and I'm gonna keep the legacy alive of being the player that touches the most cards this game. Now, my commander Nico may not have that built into them, but Azorius does.
Hello everybody, I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today I am playing Winter, Misanthropic Guide. Now, a bit of a disclaimer, this is a Rule 0 deck. We talked about it as a table and we decided we couldn't have a Beetlejuice themed party to celebrate Duskmourn without playing the Beetlejuice deck. My deck is actually running more than 20 copies of a card called Say Its Name. That's gonna allow me to exile 3 from my graveyard and summon Altenac, which is the Beetlejuice of Magic.
Don't be frightened, it's me, the Mana Crypt Keeper. And today I'm going to be playing Norrin Swift Survivalist. This deck allows me to swing with 0-cost creatures for free, triggering things like Ray Bombardment and then replaying them to get extra damage from stuff like Impact Tremors. And it's my dream to finally have a deck where banding matters.
Please join us in welcoming our newest channel sponsor, Anthros.
Anthros is the only FDA registered chair, period, and it's guaranteed to relieve back pain, shoulder pain, neck strain. The only thing that it can't prevent is the pain from missing all your triggers.
I was initially drawn to Anthros after last year when I took a tumble down the stairs and spending months in a neck brace. I was in significant discomfort even a year later, and now with Anthros I can spend much more time streaming and at my desk editing without all of that discomfort.
I don't know, I just like this little lower back thing. It makes me sit up straight when I'm playing Magic at the table.
That's actually a pelvic support veggie, unlike some of the other chair brands that have those useless lumbar support cushions that don't do anything. The pelvic support does correct your posture.
Oh, my favorite part is this little pelvic support thing that you can't see.
So make sure you guys use the link down below in the description to fix your sit today. And there's no better time to do it because you will get $200 off when you use our link.
It's a very charitable cause. We should probably play the game now.
It's showtime. 10.
2.
12.
All right, it's MaldHound.
I'm going to draw for my first turn, because this is commander and superior to standard. And I will play this Tanglespan Bridgeworks, which enters tapped, and I will pass.
Okay, draw. Super not what I needed. It's okay, though. I'm gonna be the biggest threat at the table and play an island, and I'll pass.
Okay.
You're not gonna tap it? Show good faith? No?
No.
My land for turn is going to be a Wooded Foothills, which I will just pay a life and sacrifice now.
Ooh, Delirium 1.
And the land I am going to fetch is going to be a Stomping Grounds, and I will shock it in.
Hey, yeah.
Wrong direction. Attention Kmart shoppers. There is a discount on mana today. So we're going to start with the Soul Ring, and then we'll pass the turn.
I don't like it.
You think you're special with your 1 turn 1 play. I'm gonna play a mountain. I'm gonna tap that and play Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer.
I am so mad.
Whenever Ragavan deals combat damage to a player, I make a treasure and exile the top card of that player's library, which I can cast that turn. For 0 mana, I will also play Crimson Kobolds, which is a 0/1. And to be clear, this card is a red spell when cast, and Kobolds are a red creature.
The 1995 special.
I'll pass the turn.
I will untap and, hey, that doesn't kill Ragavan. The heck? I will play a Rejuvenating Springs and I will tap to play Trade Routes. Noticeably, worse than Ragavan. However, it is an enchantment where I can pay 1 mana to return target land I control to its owner's hand, or 1 mana and discard a land card from my hand to draw a card. And there, I will pass, and I'll begin whispering, please, 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 don't get me, don't get me, don't get me.
Okay, everyone's already doing things. Darn. I don't want to get raggied. Play a Plains, and I'm going to tap both of them for the bestest girl, Spirited Companion. When Spirited Companion enters the battlefield, I get to draw a card. That is also quite unhelpful, and with that, I will pass the turn.
We're gonna float a colorless, and we're gonna cast Say Its Name, Beetlejuice. I get to mill 3 cards, and I can put a creature or a land card from my graveyard into my hand. Then I can exile this and 2 more Say It Names to cast Altanach from my graveyard, hand, or library for free. So I will mill 3 cards. There was no creatures or lands. Oh, there was a creature. I will just take the Wooded Foothills from my graveyard. So the Wooded Foothills will come to hand. I will play it for turn, lose a life, and go find a forest.
Hey, we're gonna kill them, right? Hey, we're gonna.
Yeah,
hey,
because I think the important thing to note here is Delirium is already land, planeswalker, creature, enchantment, sorcery.
Yeah, because to say its name. So we'd be at max hand size of 2?
Yes.
Fetch the forest with that Wooded Foothills, and with my 1 floating mana, I'm gonna just cast another Beetlejuice.
Stop doing things.
So we're gonna get to mill 3 cards again, and I get a land or a creature from my graveyard to my hand. You know, I kind of want to keep the creature in the graveyard, so I'm just gonna get this swamp and put it into my hand.
That's not good.
And I got lucky, and when I cast one of the Say Its Names, I actually milled another Say Its Name. So we're gonna say Beetlejuice for a 3rd time this turn, and I'm gonna exile these 3 and go search for my creature. Altanach the Thrice Called. It's a 9/9 with trample that says whenever it becomes the target of a spell or an ability my opponents control, I get to draw a card. I can also pay 2 to discard it and return lands from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And now that we have Beetlejuiced, I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Well, luckily I've got this Crimson Kobolds, which is that should protect me. I'll play a Sokinzon Crucible Defiance as my land for the turn. I think for now, I'm just going to set up an Impact Tremors. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I guess we'll just make a treasure.
Hey, hey, come on,
Take
man.
his lands.
That's for you, Mald.
All right.
Just 2 damage.
Yeah, 2 damage and no other effects?
No other effects.
No other effects?
No other effects.
You just make a treasure, 2 damage.
Let me see that top card. Oh, it's a command tower. I can't play that. Get it out of here. Pass the turn.
I am going to play this island. Get ready. I'm gonna tap 3. I'm gonna play ZMainCharacter, Applied Mathematics Major. ZMainCharacter the All Questioning is a 1/1, which is very good. And at the beginning of my end step, if a land entered the battlefield under my control and I control a prime number of lands, I get to make Primo, a legendary 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, and then I put that many +1/+1 counters onto it. So I am immediately going to go to my end step, and a land did enter the battlefield under my control, and 3 is a prime number. So I will make Primo. Now, we don't have a token for Primo, so I'm going to draw the most fearsome thing I know.
Please kill me. That looks like a mutant Ritz cracker.
Hey, we're like a third of the way in. Will you just let me cook? Excellent. Wait,
Marry the platypus.
This is Primo. He is legally distinct and not subject to copyright infringement laws, and he is a 3/3. And I will pass the turn.
Yikes. Okay. we're gonna play an island. We're gonna go ahead and tap 2 of those to play a Talisman of Progress. And then, with 2 open mana, I'll pass the turn.
Oh.
I knew this was gonna happen. My deck is not the fastest and everyone is already doing big things. I just have to believe in my deck and keep on touching more cardboard.
We'll start with a swamp, and I will indeed cast my commander. Winter Misanthropic Guide, a 3/4 with Ward 2. This is at the beginning of my upkeep. Each player gets to draw an additional 2 cards. That's good for everyone. And then it has Delirium, so as long as I have 4 or more different card types among cards in my graveyard, then each opponent's maximum hand size is equal to 7 minus the number of different card types. Currently that is 5. That is on the stack. So before I ask for responses, I will just let you know that if someone responds to it, you will get a 9/9. So we'll just throw that out there.
We know why we all play Commander. It's because we love touching cardboard. It's why we have 99 cards.
I thought it was because we were bad at the other formats.
So we're about to get an Arcane Denial is
We
what
don't
you're
say
saying.
that.
That's the quiet part, Vegetable.
That's the quiet part, Veggie. And so I, for one, as a lover of Commander, cannot stand for this. So, for all of you, remember me as this 9/9 comes to my face. And in response, Arcane Denial.
Fair.
Counter target spell. Its controller may draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. You draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep.
All right, well, I said I was gonna do something, so Veggie, take 9.
Micah Bolds. I'll take 9 damage.
I will pass the turn and get to draw some cards, right?
That is correct.
At my upkeep, whoa, let me untap. I'm gonna start by casting my commander. Norn Swift Survivalist. 2/1, cannot block. Whenever a creature I control becomes blocked, I can exile that creature and then I can play the card from exile this turn. Everyone will take 1 damage from Impact Tremors, and then we're gonna go to combat. I will send Ragavan at NerdGirl for 2, and I'll send the Crimson Kobolds at MaldHound for 0.
How bad do you want that Impact Tremors trigger? We could be friends. We'd be good time boys. Do you want to be good time boys?
Hey, I'll leave it entirely up to you.
All right, I'm gonna take 0.
Okay. All right, well, NerdGirl takes 2 damage. I will make a second treasure, and I'd like to see that top card of your library. Get an Arcane Signet. Hey, I can work with that. I'm gonna play this War Room as my land for turn. I can tap it and pay life and draw cards. I'm gonna pay 2 for Unstable Amulet. When it enters, I get 2 energy. When I cast a spell from anywhere other than my hand, it deals damage to each opponent, and I can tap it and pay 2 energy to exile the top card of my library and play it until I exile another card. We aren't even gonna worry about the energy because I just wanna see what I get off of this. So it'll exile my top card, which is a Slate of Ancestry, which helps me to refill my hand. But I got this nice Arcane Signet. I'll cast that from not my hand, and everybody please take a damage.
Good, chill, good.
Yes.
Chill.
Can we play more spells? We sure can. Let's get weird. I'm gonna use that Arcane Signet to cast a Helm of Chatsuk. All right, good luck, everybody. I can pay 1 mana and tap it to give target creature banding until end of turn.
Oh my.
Judge.
I'll pass the turn. Now, I'm not going to explain to you how banding works because literally nobody can. It's not possible. But the important parts are that my creatures can attack as a group, and if they're blocked, that triggers Norn for every single one of them.
At the beginning of this game, I went on a 20-minute long monologue about how ZMainCharacter is the first fair Simic commander ever printed because she doesn't care about more. You have to plan, you have to strategize. I would now like to say, I was lying. I'm going to put a forest into play. I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play Azusa, Lost but Seeking. I may now play 2 additional lands on each of my turns. We're gonna play this Waterlogged Grove. From there, I'm gonna move to combat, and I'm going to swing Primo the Platypus at Veggie for 3 damage.
Yeah, I'm not logging that. I'll take 3
You
damage.
sure aren't. Then we're gonna move to my end step, and because 5 is a prime number of lands, I get to remake Primo the Platypus, but this time as a 5/5. And now he's untapped because this is a whole brand new one. Just like how teleportation doesn't move you, it deconstructs your body and constructs a lifeless, unfeeling clone in its place. Don't trust him.
Okay, I need to at least draw a card, so I'm gonna do something a little silly. I'm gonna tap Talisman of Progress, white and a blue, and I'm gonna go ahead and cast Scroll Shift. Exile up to one target artifact, creature, or enchantment I control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. That is going to be Talisman of Progress. It's gonna come back in. I'm gonna draw a card. And then I'm gonna tap 3, and I'm gonna play Lorraine of the Third Path. When Lorraine of the Third Path enters the battlefield, destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment. I can also tap Lorraine to go ahead and have me and a target opponent each draw a card. And notably, it has Vigilance, which is quite nice. So, I wonder what I should get rid of. It's gonna be your amulet.
But banding's so strong.
Destroyed. I will still be able to cast the Slate of Ancestry, but that will be my only one.
I'll pass the turn.
Okay. You have no mana open this time, right?
None.
That's good. All right, we're just gonna play a mountain, and we're gonna replay my commander. Winter is back. I do indeed have Delirium because I have 5 different card types in my graveyard. So your guys' maximum hand size is now going to be 2. And I'm sure I'm gonna be taking a lot of damage and doing some stuff. So I think Beetlejuice is gonna stay home. Pass the turn. I'm gonna move to discard, and I'm just going to discard this Twisted Landscape.
Play him now.
Yeah, you have until the end of your turn to smoke them while you got them.
I'm going to pay 3 for Raid Bombardment. Whenever a creature I control power 2 or less attacks, Raid Bombardment deals 1 damage to defending player. And then I will go to combat. I am going to send Crimson Kobolds and Ragavan at NerdGirl. Raid Bombardment will trigger twice, so you'll take 2 damage.
Okay. I will block the Ragavan only.
Okay, so then I will use Norn's ability to exile this before damage. You will take a big old 0.
Yep.
And then on my second main phase, I will pay 1 and recast Ragavan. Yeah! Impact Tremors will deal 1 damage to everybody. I'll pass the turn.
No, you won't. On your end step, I will tap Rejuvenating Springs for 1, and I will bounce it to my hand with Trade Routes.
Ooh.
Then you'll end your turn. All right, I'm gonna play the Rejuvenating Springs again. Then I'm going to play the Hedge Maze, which enters the battlefield tapped but lets me surveil 1. That'll stay on top. And then, because I am at 6, but if I get to 7, I'll be at another prime, I am going to play Turn Timber, Serpentine Wood, and I am going to pay the 3 life so that it enters untapped. So with my 6 untapped lands, I'm going to tap all of them, and I'm going to play Uyo, Silent Prophet, which is a Moonfolk wizard. It's a 4/4 with flying, and I can spend 2 mana and return 2 lands I control to their owner's hands to copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Very importantly, not a spell I control. And then I will move to combat. And now I have a 5/5. There's no reason for it to stay home. And so I'm going to swing it at Veggie. Primo's coming at you for 5.
It's so hard to take 5 when there's also a 9/9 trample on the board.
It's very true. I'm trying to cow you into submission. Oh, sorry. Bidoof uses tackle.
Oh. Who needs life? I'll take 5.
It's a resource.
Yeah.
Good man. And then I'll move to my end step, but I'm down to 2 cards in hand, thanks to Azusa. And I will remake Primo the Platypus with 7 counters on him, and I will pass the turn.
As a commander player, I, for one, cannot stand seeing any of my unused cards in the graveyard. So what we're gonna do is just say no. And tap 2 to play Thought Vessel. I have no maximum hand size. I have no choice but let NerdGirl's commander resolve, so now it's time to play one of my favorite cards, Thought Vessel, and since I'm playing it after her commander, I have no maximum hand size.
Okay.
Eat that, Winter.
Well, I could always kill Winter and then bring it back, right?
Why would you do that, though? Hey, why would you?
Hey.
Hey, why would you
Just
do it?
to wipe the smirk off their
spite.
face.
Why would you want to do that? It's cute. Go ahead and tap 2 to get Azorius Signet out. Tap 4 mana, and I'm gonna get Nico, Light of Hope. When Nico, Light of Hope enters, create 2 shard tokens. They're enchantments with 2, sacrifice this enchantment, scry 1, then draw a card. And I can pay 2 and tap Nico to exile target non-legendary creature I control. Shards you control become copies of it until the beginning of the next end step. Returning to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And look at that. I have 3 cards in hand at my end step, and I will pass the turn.
Cheater. All right, on my upkeep, everybody's gonna draw an additional 2 cards.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna start by paying 2, and we're gonna say Beetlejuice another time. We're gonna get to mill 3 and put a creature or a land card into my hand. Those 3 cards will be another Say Its Name and Croxa in a Fertile Ground. I'm gonna go ahead and put this Sulphurous Springs into my hand. I will play that as my land for turn. I'm gonna use my floating mana and 2 more. I'll take a damage from the Sulphurous Springs. I'm gonna cast Invasion of Innistrad. It's a battle that has flash, though I'm not using it that way. And when it comes into play, target creature an opponent controls gets -13/-13, and it has 5 defense. I'm going to say Veggie is the defender of this.
Yeah, I don't block good.
No, you don't. And then when it comes into play, I'm gonna have it deal -13/-13 to Azusa.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's good.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Very solid choice.
And then I'm gonna go to combat, and we're just gonna send 9 to Veggie's battle.
Oh yeah, I'm not blocking that. It's all yours.
So I will get to get this and flip it over. The Invasion of Innistrad will now turn into Deluge of the Dead. It's an enchantment that says, when it enters the battlefield, I get to make 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. I can also pay 3 and exile a card from an opponent's graveyard and make a zombie if it was a creature. All right, with those zombies onto the battlefield, I will pass the turn.
I'm going to help the table, but I will need your help.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm part of this table. Why aren't you looking at me? This is bad.
I'm gonna play this mountain. I'm gonna pay 5 mana. Thanks for your arcane signet. I cast Call for Aid. Gain control of all creatures target opponent controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures. They gain haste until end of turn. You can't attack that player this turn. You can't sacrifice those creatures this turn. NerdGirl, I'd like to borrow all of your creatures.
We block and then...
Yep. Goodbye, cute zombos.
Goodbye, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna move to combat. I can't attack NerdGirl, but I can send all of these at you, the 2 of you. Altanak, Winter, and a zombie, and Ragavan at MaldHound. And Z, I will send you a zombie and Crimson Kobold.
Okay.
Hear me out, MaldHound. So I'm gonna get wrecked in this situation.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to bargain my way out of it.
Got it.
My entire deck is built around this card. And if you block it,
That is true.
Veggie can just choose to exile it and not recast it.
Yeah, that is true.
And I'm pretty sure my card says I can't get it from exile. So if you don't block it, it's a lot of damage, but I'll make it up to you.
Shake on it?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I didn't have to make a deal with MaldHound here, but I think it was the best play. I do have an answer in hand that should deal with him in the late game, but most importantly, I need to keep Altanak around, otherwise my Say Its Name is just a dead card, and there's like 20 of them in my deck.
Maul, you have 2 creatures power 2 or less attacking you, so take 2 from raid, and Z, you also have 2, so take 2.
In the declare blocker step,
Yep.
I will put ZMainCharacter, the all-questioning, in front of Winter. I will put Primo in front of the zombie, and I will put Uyo in front of Ragavan, leaving Altanak unblocked.
You will pay for your treachery.
And I will just block that zombie with Nico.
Okay, well, I will at least exile the things that I can. Ragavan, I think, is probably just dead, but you can take those back. Altanak will deal 9 damage. Crimson Kobolds will deal 0 damage. I will say, uh-oh.
You freed up the max hand size restriction, that matters.
I sure did.
All according to plan, right?
Yeah, that's good. I'll be able to keep this 1 card when I pass the turn right now.
Now we're good time boys at the low life totals. You may not remember, but at the beginning of this game, I made a 20-minute monologue about how this was the first fair Simic Commander ever printed. They probably cut it. I would like to once again reveal that that was a lie. And tap 4 mana. I'm going to play Sakashima of 1,000 Faces, a 3/1 that I may have enter as a copy of any creature I control, except it has Sakashima of 1,000 Faces' other abilities, namely the ability that the legend rule does not apply to permanents I control. So I'm going to have Sakashima enter as a copy of ZMainCharacter.
Do you make more Bedoofs?
I do make more Bedoofs.
Oh.
And then I'm going to tap Rejuvenating Springs to bounce it to my hand. And then I'm going to play Rejuvenating Springs as my land for turn. Then I'm going to go to combat. Okay, then I'm going to swing Bidoof at you.
Okay, lovely.
Use Tackle.
I will block with Spirited Companion.
Dog for dog, okay.
Dog for dog.
Well, only yours died, so it's not really dog for dog.
No.
I am going to move to my end step where some very fun stuff is going to happen. I'm going to get a ZMainCharacter trigger, and I'm going to get it twice, which means I will make 2 new Bidoofs, both of which will have 7+1/+1 counters on it. So we're going to have 1 tapped Bidoof, and then I won't make you sit through me redrawing them, but I will put 2 more Bidoofs under him. Bidoof is going to use Double Team, and they're all 7/7s, 2 of which are untapped.
Okay,
Do you have a response to that?
You just said
I know.
you were gonna.
That's my problem. Is that now I owe MaldHound my life and I cannot help.
I pass.
Okay, on your end step, I believe that you're going to want to deal with that problem instead of me eventually. I know you made a promise.
I will tell you I will not break my promise. So that means at least Veggie must be dead first. So do with that what you will.
I do love that all of NerdGirl's promises have an inbuilt caveat of once Veggie is dead. Once I kill Veggie,
Do you
all
read the
bets
fine
are
print?
off.
Hold on. So you can't help me.
I cannot.
Can you help me? No.
The longer Veggie lives, the more difficult it will be for me to kill MaldHound.
The way that I can help is just by trying to make him dead more.
Okay, so I'll take that. I'll go ahead and tap this. You and I will draw a card.
I like that.
I'm very glad I did that because that is super unhelpful. And now I'll go to my upkeep. Okay, in an act of desperation, hey, guess what? You and I both get to draw another card. Oh my God. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're gonna cast Overlord of the Flood Pits. Avatar Horror with flying 5/3. Whenever Overlord of the Flood Pits enters or attacks, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. So I'm gonna draw 2 cards. And I sincerely don't need that, so I'm gonna discard a Plains. And then for 3, I'm gonna cast Ghostly Flicker. Exile 2 target artifact creatures and or lands you control, then return those cards to the battlefield under your control. Having this many artifacts that tap for mana is amazing in this deck because when I blink them, they'll come back in untapped. And we know in Commander that more money, more problems I'll be making for everyone else. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and exile Overlord and Talisman of Progress, and they're both gonna come back in. That's gonna come in untapped. This is gonna come back in, and I'm gonna draw 2 cards and discard a card.
Gaming.
They're beginning to believe.
We're gonna discard Plains. For my final 2 mana, tap Talisman of Progress, so I can tap Azoria's Signet. I'm gonna go ahead and pay into Nico's ability, which is do exile target non-legendary creature you control. Shards you control become copies of it until the beginning of the next end step. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. We're gonna target Overlord of the Flood Pits. My shards are now flying 5/3s, and we will in fact go to combat, and I will finally deal some damage.
Do what you need to. I'm gonna do what I need to. That might involve somebody getting bedoofed.
Oh my goodness. They're both coming at you.
Chill.
So whenever they attack, I get to draw 2 cards and discard a card. So I'm gonna draw 2 cards. I'm gonna discard Wall of Omens, and then we're gonna do it again. We're gonna discard an island.
No blocks.
No blocks?
Doing what you need to do. I respect
Clean
that.
10.
I respect that.
Wow.
That actually makes me terrified. And then I will go to my end step. Overlord of Flood Pits comes back in, and I once again get to draw 2 cards and discard a card.
So jealous of you right now.
Now, I am a woman of my word, so I am presently MaldHound's minion. And I'm gonna attack Veggie for 9. Trample.
Yeah. Nope, I have no creatures that can block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And they say the living cannot see the strange and unusual. But I myself am strange and unusual, so I'm gonna make a strange and unusual play. I'm gonna start by saying Beetlejuice. Mill 3 cards and put a creature or a land into my hand. I'm going to choose to just get this Wooded Foothills back. And then I'm gonna do something I might regret. I'll tap 4. I'm gonna cast Momentous Fall. As an additional cost to cast this spell, I get to sacrifice a creature. I also then get to draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power and gain that much life equal to its toughness. So I will draw 9, gain 9.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, but before it resolves, then I'm gonna return this land and this land to my hand to activate the clause on Uyo Silent Prophet to copy that spell. So I will also draw 9 and gain 9.
See, I told you, good time, boys.
Oh.
Cool, let's do it.
Put her there. Put her there.
Aren't you glad you let my creature live?
We definitely have to kill them now.
We have to kill him now. You cannot let him touch this many cards.
8, 9. Next up, I'm going to exile 3 Beetlejuice cards to bring back Altenak from the graveyard onto the battlefield. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move to my end step. I'm gonna have to discard 9 cards. I did add an instant and a kindred spell to my graveyard, so Delirium is now up to 7. Still not relevant quite yet, but you never know.
I still have my Kobold, so we're fine. Ooh. I'll play a mountain, and then off the top of the library, I will play Ugin the Ineffable. This is really a mean name. Colorless spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. I can +1 to exile a top card of my library face down. It makes a 2/2 spirit, and when that goes away, I put the card in my hand. And I can -3 to destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Sure, Ugin's great because it let me dump most of my hand onto the battlefield, but the most important part is that now any of my creatures that cost 2 colorless or less are free to cast, so those are free swings with Norn's ability. I would love to get some card advantage, but I think immediately this does have to -3 and get rid of Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. And I think that means that your legend rule is now in effect.
It is, yeah. I'll move these away, but I'm going to keep one of the untapped ones.
So now I feel much safer with that problem. And my colorless spells cost 2 less, so I'll play my own Arcane Signet for free. I will play a Baton of Morale for free, which I can pay 2 to give a creature banding, and Signal Pest. It's an 0/1 with Battle Cry, so when it attacks, all of my other attackers get +1/+0, and it can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Pay 1 to activate the Helm of Chatsuk to give the Crimson Kobolds banding. I will go to combat.
Wait. You tried to ruin my deck, so I feel like it's only fair.
They are going to you. I won't even hide that. You're at 37.
So in response to the banding trigger, I'm just gonna cast Unholy Heat on Norn, and I will deal 6 damage to him because I do have Delirium.
Oh, yeah, by a little bit. Okay. All right, well, he will go back to the command zone, but at least that reminds me that I did get 1 Impact Tremors trigger. Everybody, please take 1 from the Signal Pest. I will pass the turn.
I will tap 3. And I will play the Tireless Provisioner.
Ooh.
The 3/2 landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I make a food or a treasure. I will then play the Rejuvenating Springs, and I'm going to choose to make a treasure, Veggie, if I could have.
Yeah, I don't think that
The
Ragaman's
greatest
coming
treasure
back.
of all. Hammy. I will spend a green and crack that treasure. Kenra's transformation on Nico Light of Hope. So instead of being a survivor, they are actually just a 3/3 deer with no abilities. And I'm sure you can flicker them, but I would rather you spend those resources on Nico and not Overlord of the Flood Pits or something. Main phase 2, I'm gonna pay a life to tap the Waterlogged Grove for green And I'm going to enchant my Rejuvenating Springs with Wild Growth. So whenever I tap it, it adds an additional green. So I will keep 2 mana floating. And then I'm going to move to my end step. Simone will trigger, but when she checks to see if I have a prime number of lands, I won't. And then I believe that almost all of these can be discarded except for that. And so I'm going to discard all of these, which are mostly lands, a card draw spell, a creature, and an enchantment.
I'll go ahead and play a Darker Wastes. And then 5, I'm going to play Virtue of Knowledge. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control or trigger, that ability triggers an additional time.
That's interesting. That's interesting you say that. It's a good virtue. I prefer everybody as stupid as me. And so I'm going to tap this for a blue and get a green and attempt to Decisive Denial it, which will counter the spell unless you pay 3. You can pay 3 and then just, not have mana to do anything else dastardly.
That on the stack, I'm gonna go ahead and tap Lauren. You and I will draw a card again.
Yeah, I'll counter it, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay the 3. I'm gonna pay it. It hurts.
Excellent.
It hurts.
A deal well made. Put her there.
The pointy part has to be down.
No, that's blunt force damage.
Blunt force damage. It's worse. It's a worse punishment. You have so much life all of a sudden. And I think we have to do a little something about that. So Overlord of the Flood Pits is going to be coming at you. That is 5.
No blocks.
Okay, excellent. On attack, I'll draw 2 cards. Not that helpful. I will discard a Plains. I'm moving myself far too open. I will pass the turn.
All right. I'm gonna start by casting Lord Windgrace. He's a 5 loyalty planeswalker that allows me to discard a card, then draw. If the card I discarded was a land, I get to draw an additional card. I can -3 to return 2 lands to the battlefield from my graveyard. I can also -11 to destroy up to 6 target non-land permanents, then I create 6 green cat warrior creature tokens with Forest Walk. Still come into play with 5 loyalty. I think I have enough cards in hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and just -3. We're gonna go down to 2, and I'll get to put 2 lands onto the battlefield. I hate not drawing with Lord Windgrace. The card draw is so good, and any card I discard, I have lots of ways to get back. But the thing that I'm having the most difficulty with right now is different color pips. My deck is pip intensive. I need 4 or 5 green mana one turn. I need 4 or 5 black mana the next turn. So getting the land back here is definitely gonna be the play. Those 2 lands are gonna be the Wooded Foothills and the Blood Crypt, and I will shock it in. I'm also going to play a land for turn, which will be the Carplusian Forest. And I'm gonna just go to combat. I'm not too worried about Veggie. So I'm just gonna make Veggie have to do some things. We're just gonna come to Veggie for 9.
I'm not too worried about Veggie. Come for 9.
No, I meant about the retaliation.
Okay. That was a roller coaster. Yeah, what the best I could do here? The best I could do would be stop 2 damage, so I'll just take the full 9.
That is worrisome.
And with all of this extra mana open, I will pass the turn.
Cool. Yep. Great. Who is my friend?
It's me. It's always been me. Put her there.
Let's start off. I will pay 3. I'm gonna play a Cursed Mirror. It taps for red, and as it enters the battlefield, I can have it become a copy of any creature on the battlefield until end of turn, except it has haste. I'm gonna have an Overlord of the Flood Pits that has haste, so it's gonna enter. I will draw 2 and discard 1. Get rid of this Stromkirk Noble. That'll trigger Impact Tremors. Everybody, please take a damage.
Oh, damn.
I will plus Ugin. We're gonna make a little 2/2 Spirit and exile the top card of my library. There is my 2/2 Spirit, and everybody take another damage from Impact Tremors.
Ouch.
I guess we go to combat, because I got this Overlord of the Flood Pits to swing.
If it comes at me, I will kill it.
Okay, so if this goes to you, then you will kill it.
Yes.
If you show me the spell, then I will not swing it at you. Uh-oh. Okay. I still intend to swing this at you.
Okay. Just to make sure I don't tap poorly, I'm gonna crack this Wooded Foothills and take a point of damage. I'm gonna find an overgrown tomb and I will shock it in. You said if you show it to me, I will not attack you. Never mind, you showed it to me, I will attack you anyway. Not a veggie of his word. All right, we're gonna pay 4, and we will indeed cast Baleful Mastery, and I will exile a creature or a planeswalker, and I will choose the Curse Mirror to exile.
All right, I will, in response, just tap it for a red mana, and then it is very, very gone. I will use that to activate the Helm of Chatsuk to give banding to the Signal Pest. And then my declared attack will be this band at NerdGirl. The Signal Pest will trigger to give Kobolds +1. But it will have Ray Bombardment deal 2 damage to you.
Okay, so I'll take 2 from the bombardment.
And then you have a band that is 1 power total coming at you.
Ouch.
Yeah, but we got to band, and now I can die. I will play this mountain as my land for turn. I will pay 2 mana to cast this Slate of Ancestry that has been waiting for forever, which allows me to pay 4, discard my hand, and draw a card for each creature I control. I don't have enough mana for that. I'll play this Phyrexian Walker, which is just a 0/3 for 0 mana. It deals damage to everybody from impact tremors.
Boink.
That's it. Pass the turn.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Wait, we got one last thing, right? I got 3 mana. There's Norin. Now we're done.
And now everybody takes another one.
That is true.
And now I can die. Pass.
Not yet, you won't, Veggie. I'm going to save you.
Oh, we'll see about that.
And by save you, I mean make it very annoying for the 2 of them if you're dead. I'm going to tap 3 mana and cast the Rampant Frogantua, which is a 3/3 with trample right now. But for every player that has lost the game, it gets +10/+10. And whenever Rampant Frogantua deals combat damage to a player, I may mill that many cards and put any number of land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped. So if you kill my boy, my other boy is gonna give you the what for. I know, that face, you'd think I was done. I'm going to then tap the Rejuvenating Springs for 2 green, and I'm going to bestow the Spring Heart Nantuko onto the Rampant Frogantua. So he gets +1/+1, 4/4. That's pretty bad. Even worse is landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I can pay 1 and a green, and if Spring Heart Nantuko is attached to a creature I control, I can make a token that's a copy of it.
Okay. I don't want copies of that on the battlefield.
I don't want copies of that on the battlefield.
So you can get copies of just the Nantuko-y thing when it falls off, because that's how Bestow works. So I'll just go ahead and Assassin's Trophy your frog. It's gonna destroy a permanent and opposing player controls. You can go get a land though, which is like something your deck wants to do.
I'll be honest, NerdGirl removing my Frogantua has completely devastated my plans. I thought I was gonna be okay, but now everything seems to add up to my life total being 0, which is not prime. Okay, so I'll just get a 1/1. This will still make a token, but it'll just make 1/1 insect tokens instead of any copies of anything. From this point, I'm gonna play the Buckleberry Fairy, which is a reskin of a Boro Palace in the Clouds, just a legendary land that I can spend 1 to return it to my hand. That will give me a Tireless Provisioner trigger. I'll use it to make a treasure. And that will also give me my first Spring Heart Nantuko trigger, which should be a 1/1 green insect.
Little guy.
He's so fat.
We had to have at least 1 beetle for the Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, there I'm going to have to hang out, but I will move to combat. So I will send Primo to Lord Windgrace and Uyo at Z.
I'll take 4.
I have no blocks for Lord Windgrace. He will go to a farm upstate.
Lovely. And then I will pass to my end step, and because a land entered the battlefield and I have a prime number of lands, I will make a new Primo with 7 counters on him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, do you want to be good time boys?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kill you now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to combat, and I'm gonna swing Overlord of the Flood Pits at you.
How much would it mean to you if you lived through this?
It would mean the world to me.
No way. Everyone's gonna be after me.
But you get your trigger first.
I get my
You
trigger,
do
so
get
I'll
your
go ahead
trigger.
and draw 2. And discard 1.
So is that no blocks from Veggie?
That is certainly no blocks for me.
I'm gonna do a little crack a treasure, tap some stuff. I want to cast Sink into Stupor targeting Overlord of the Flood Pits, which will bounce it to your hand.
Oh no.
Maybe
Okay.
if I had a little Frogantua that was gonna go to the gym about my friend dying, but...
Okay, so this is going to my hand?
Yeah, it's going to your hand.
It's going to my hand. Oh dear, oh my. I'll play Cloud Blazer. Flying 2/2, when it enters the battlefield, I gain 2 life and I draw 2 cards. Notably, I get to draw 4 cards and gain 4 life.
Now you can find a way to kill something.
We're doing things. I'm gonna cast Yorion, Sky Nomad. 4/5 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you own and control. Return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step.
Let's go, Sky Noodle! I love the Sky
I
Noodle.
love the Sky Noodle. This is my first time playing the Sky Noodle. So we will go ahead and target Cloud Blazer, Lauren, my commander, and all my artifacts. And then I will go to my end step.
Great.
And they'll phase all back in. So Lauren will come on in. When Lauren enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact and or enchantment. And you said I needed to get rid of 1 artifact?
Yeah.
1 creature?
Trade
creature.
routes, that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So long.
And you get 2 now, right?
I get 2 of those triggers.
So you can choose either the Deluge of the Dead or whatever is...
I will go ahead and do that.
Sure.
Excellent. And then notably, get this out of here. Nico will come back in and trigger twice, which means I get 4 shards.
Oh, you have 6 now?
I have 6 now. These will come back untapped. And then Cloud Blazer will go ahead and come back, and I will draw 4 cards once again and gain 4 more life. So 1, 2,
Goodness
3,
gracious.
4, and touch 4 cards. And then I will pass the turn.
And you have no maximum hand size still, huh?
None.
Well, we're starting here, so...
Yeah.
Veggie, take
We're starting here.
Perish.
I will block with my spirit and be dead. So much for Swift Survivalist. I made some big plays that got blown out pretty badly, but at least with Helm of Chatsuk, I got to bring the band back together.
I'm gonna cast for 5. I will cast the creature side of Pinnacle Monk. It's a 2/2 with prowess, and when it enters the battlefield, I can target an instant or sorcery from my graveyard and put it back into my hand.
Ooh.
And notably, I have something that destroys permanents.
That's good.
I'm gonna pay 2, and I'm gonna cast Beetlejuice. I'll mill some more cards and put a creature or a land into my hand. I will try to find some blockers. We're gonna put the Birds of Paradise into my hand. I'm gonna just pay 2 more. Notably, I do have to take a shock. And we're gonna cast Beetlejuice again. We're gonna mill 3. And return a land to my hand. Oh, thank gosh, it doesn't have to be the Wooded Foothills. Actually, I'll take this Fabled Passage. I will play that Fabled Passage for turn and go fetch a forest. I will then play that forest for turn, and then I'll cast the creature that I got out of my graveyard, Birds of Paradise, an 0/1 flying blocker that's gonna go straight into a wood chipper that can also make mana if I survive till my turn. This is gonna go into the graveyard, and that's gonna be my turn.
I tap 3. I cast Overlord of the Hauntwoods for its impending cost. Impending means that if I cast it for this cost, it enters with 4 time counters and is not a creature until the last is removed. And at the beginning of my end step, I remove 1 time counter from it. So right now, it's just an enchantment, but whenever it enters or attacks, I make a tapped colorless land token named Everywhere that is every basic land type. And so, Airball, please pull up for me a picture of Ohio.
What?
Here is Everywhere, at least according to the Electoral College. And then, because I've had a land enter the battlefield, I will get 2 triggers, one from Tyler's Provisioner, which I will use to make a treasure, and another from Springheart Nantuko, which I will use to make another 1/1 insect. I'm going to play the Rogue's Passage as land for turn. I will once again get a Tireless Provisioner trigger, which I will use to make a treasure, and a Springheart Nantuko trigger, which I will use to make another insect. I will move to my end step.
Do you want to go to end step, or do you want to do the thing now?
Then I think we should do the thing now. I think if you would be so kind as to blow anything up, I will blow up any other thing.
I'm gonna pay 2, and I will cast the Assassin's Trophy that I got out of my graveyard, and we're gonna destroy a target permanent. and then its controller can get a basic land and put it onto the battlefield. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna choose the commander because I feel like that is priority number 1.
I will tap 2 mana, and I will bounce this land and this land. I know that's suboptimal. There's a plan, don't question me. And I will bounce those lands to my hand to copy that spell. I'm going to target the Virtue of Knowledge.
The Virtue of Knowledge?
I think the trigger doubling will damage me far more than the Yorion will.
Okay. You did Assassin's Trophy. You decided,
Yes.
with that on the stack,
Yeah.
you were going to put something on the stack
Yeah.
and target Virtue of Knowledge.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to decide to put something on the stack.
Excellent.
I'm going to do Parting Gust. Gift a tap fish. I won't. Exile target non-token creature. If the gift wasn't promised, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. I'm going to target Nico. Nico's now
dead.
an invalid target.
I see now that this game will end as everything must, with the law students beating the engineering students to death as the local occult club watches in horror.
Nico comes back.
All right, then the Assassin's Trophy will do the thing, and
Yes. Oh yeah, so this will still go. Nico will not trigger twice. Nico disappears. Woo. Comes back with a +1/+1 counter on. Flicker. You already know that this is in my hands. Overlord's doing work. And then draw, discard a card. That would be really funny. I'm just gonna discard another planes. Pay 2, tap them, and then all of these shards are now 5/3s with flying.
Well, so you're targeting Overlord of the Flood Pits
Yeah.
with Nico's ability. That's interesting. In response, tap Buckleberry Fairy for a blue. I'm gonna use that 1 blue to return it to my hand. Continue.
Good. 5 your way. Everything else at MaldHound. I draw how many cards?
As
2,
many
4,
as you
6,
want
8, 10, 12,
before
14,
you win.
16. We're gonna do 16. Ready? 1.
And that is my dream.
You can all perish now.
An addict is born.
Good game.
oh no, not good games. Beetlejuice.
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 It's a surprise tool that will help me later.
You're a surprise tool that will help me later.
God damn it.
It was definitely a stroke of luck that they decided to try to deal with my commander on his turn, but as the spookiest person at the table, it was fate for me to win this game, and I did it by touching cards and sharding all over the table.
We'd like to welcome our newest channel sponsor, Anthros. Our team spends so much time around the commander table and at the editing desk that the quality of the chair we sit in is incredibly important.
And we feel so supported by Anthros. Literally. So make sure to use the link down in the description to support us and them because, as they say, chair today, gone tomorrow.
And there's no better time to do it because that link will give you $200 off your order and it'll give you the perfect time and the perfect excuse to fix your sit today.
Okay, look, as a commander player, I, for one, can't stand, I keep on hitting the mic.
Is this Twitter? As a commander player,
As a commander player, send a tweet.
I would just like to point out, in my dying moments, did we see how fair that all was? Did we see how little I could do? Because for so many turns it was optimal for me to be on 7 lands? Beautiful.
Special thank you to our sponsor, Tales of Adventure. Get Magic card singles, play Magic, win. Get Magic card singles from TOA, play Magic, help out decked out, double win. And TOA has the best selection of Magic singles from everything from the most basic printings to the most premium versions you can possibly get.
And in addition to helping out your favorite commander show, you'll also be getting 5% off. If you use code DECKEDOUT at checkout, you will get that 5% off your entire order.
What do you go? Do it.
Yeah.
I said that I would make it worth his while. I am.
Which typically does not involve blowing out a man's back after, well, in some cases, but typically does not involve board wiping me after I...
That was a roller coaster of an orbit. Z was making a deal with me to help with the MaldHound problem, and by their very next turn, we were all dead. In most cases, goddammit, MaldHound. You took that whole rant and made it unusable.
Moxfield is the best deck list site available. It has everything you need to customize, compare, and collaborate. View and brew the way that works for you. Moxfield is the only way that we can track and share all of our spiciest builds here on the show, and whatever Veggie is playing. Make sure to follow our Moxfield profile in the link in the description.
The Indivisible. They are a legendary 0/0 green and blue. They are a legendary. Wow.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Snip, snip. They are a legendary 0/0 green and blue. This is why I never got all the things going after Biden, because they kept posting these things of like, he has dementia, and I was like, last week for me. Anyway.
I always have a fun time playing Commander, but I haven't played a deck this fun in a long time. I took so many game actions that amounted to almost nothing, and I got to banned, though I didn't really draw enough creatures to make it work, so it felt more like restricted.
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories. We love their stuff, and we know you will too. In fact, every single playmat, sleeve, or deck box featured on this show is an Ultimate Guard product. So make sure to use the link in the description to support our channel and treat yourself to some amazing upgrades.
Now I just have it consciously screaming in my head, promote the Patron.
Winter is very demure.
It's missing blue.
So here, I didn't play a land for turn, right? Interesting.
Love.
Okay.
Just the rest of the episode is that silent home.
Special thank you to our patrons. Without your support, these episodes would not be possible.
Really, it is thanks to patrons like you, Beyonce, that we are able to keep this show weekly, and we really appreciate that.
So if you would like to become a part of the show, make sure you head on over to our Patreon. You can get exclusive perks, signed tokens, spell table games with us, even have your deck list submitted here on the show. Plus, you helped me get my new best friend.
And of course, B, you can always support the show by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That's all we've got for you for today. We will see you next time on
Decked Out
Chairs, where everybody knows your name.